We finally get to meet Group B for Season 6 of The Masked Singer, so we're going to talk about the Queen of Hearts, the Mallard, the Cupcake, the Dalmatian, and the Banana Split. Let's talk The Masked Singer. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It, and welcome to my Masked Singer recap and reaction video for episode 3, where we finally got to meet Group B. Thank you all for joining and commenting last week. We had a lot of returning favorites in the comments that have been watching my Masked videos for a few years now. I started with season 3, I believe, and then I did the Masked Dancer as well. So we've done 4 or 5 of these seasons together. And there's always some new names popping up in the comments too, which I love. So please continue those comments. My Masked videos are among my most popular by far on my channel, and that is a lot because of the great community that we've sort of inspired to kind of chat amongst ourselves and all of that. So keep the comments coming. If you do watch these videos and you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing that too. I would love to have you as one of my subs. So listen, this was a tough week. I think for sure I know. Well, 2. 1, I have on my own. 2, I don't think I would have gotten unless one of you in the comments had mentioned it last week, and if the panel didn't guess it. But I think that lines up too. So we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to do my live reaction. I still don't know who is under the mask that got voted off. I know who did get voted off, but I don't know who's under that mask yet, so we're going to find out in real time here. So let's get first into it with the Queen of Hearts. And with some of these, I've got the early clue as well. In fact, I think all of them had early clues this time around from when they did the preview show. Queen of Hearts' early clue was a horse. And as soon as she started talking in the clue package, unless she's really putting it on, you can tell she's got some sort of southern twang. And I will say, I haven't mentioned this on last week's episodes, but when Nick first announces a new character and they come out, they say a strength and they say a like. And I didn't write any of those down for Group A, so I decided not to start now. But if any of those are clues to you guys to who somebody is, let me know in the comments, because I just didn't write that down. I write down so much. I mean, this is... my notebook is just crazy with clues, so I can only write so much. But anyway, so we see a glass heart breaking right away, a big red heart. She said her heart led her on amazing adventures. We see a clock that says 10 o'clock. We see a Tin Man that looks very much in the Oz decor. She says she spent her whole life learning how to champion her heart because she did not grow up in a great environment. We see a spiral down full of Roman numerals. She said she left home while pretty young. We see a ghost there. And there's a pic of Hilary Swank that says BFF. And then there's some chess pieces. It was kind of a chess theme. But a lot of things shattering in the clue package, not just that heart in the beginning, but a few different things along the way shattering. She sings Born This Way from Lady Gaga, and a great job singing it. This is somebody who is, I believe, a big-time singer. And Nick asked her, why the Queen of Hearts? And she said, the world is so noisy. She just wanted to give some hearts. So giving some love, I guess, instead of all the noise. So the guesses from the panel, Britney Spears from Nicole, talking about Free Britney. I think Britney's got enough on her plate. I don't think this is the year for her on this. Fergie's another one. Like Darren Criss, I mentioned him last time. Somebody brings up Fergie every season. She should be in the jar that they have to pay the $50 to. And then Renee Zellweger was guest as well, which makes a lot of sense with the Oz clue because, of course, she won an Oscar for portraying Judy Garland. But something nobody said is who I think it is. This is a very, very big singer. She had a pair of, really 3 probably, huge hits in the 90s. and then merged a little bit in the early 2000s into more dance-oriented stuff. But her first big album was called Pieces of You, and so that could allude to all of the shattering elements. I think this is Jewel. Now, the early clue was a horse. She, famously came from Alaska, and she did leave home early and lived in her car for a while. We got that. But for the last, 15, 20 years, she lives in Texas, I believe it is, somewhere down south, though, on a farm, and she does own horses, I believe, or at least rides them regularly. I can't figure out what the 10 o'clock means. I don't know what the spiral staircase of the Roman numerals means, but I'm pretty confident that this is Jewel. And she's got a great voice, too. I have never seen Jewel in concert. My good buddy Jason is a huge Jewel fan. He's seen her many, many times. So, I'll have to ask him if the voice matches. Oh, and the Tin Man clue. She was in some sort of, I think it was a TV movie, or maybe it was a direct-to-video movie, but it was a Wizard of Oz movie. I don't know if she played Dorothy specifically. I don't know if it was, like, a remake of Wizard of Oz kind of thing, but it was some kind of Oz story, and she played the lead role. So I'm pretty confident on this one. I don't know the Hilary Swank connection. I didn't really know they were friends, but I think this is Jewel. Moving on to the Mallard, the early clue there was a red rotary phone, and he said he has a best-selling book and a platinum album, but growing up the way we did, he was always hustling. We see a cowboy boot there. He said he was selling worms for one of his early businesses, and we see him like putting worms in one of the Secret Service members' hands. A saxophone is playing. He said he was a human jukebox on the bus. People would what did he say? Put a quarter in his arm, and then he would sing a song. And his BFF is Chris Pratt. And unless I missed it, these are the only two that have BFF pictures. I looked for it in the other clue packages, but let me know if I missed one. But Chris Pratt's is BFF, it says, and we saw a toy deer. And he sang, "Save a horse, ride a cowboy." Some country I like, some country I can do without. I love "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy." I think that's such a fun song, great song. I liked it even more when they used it in Magic Mike. What a great movie! But even before that, I was, if somebody sang that at karaoke, I was up and rocking out to it. But so Nick asked him why the Mallard, and he says he normally doesn't dress fancy. He's used to disguising his face, and I took that to mean maybe some sort of beard. So Garth Brooks was talked about by the panel. He is a buddy of Chris Pratt's. Billy Ray Cyrus was on Ken's mind. I don't think that's a horrible guess, actually, but I don't know a lot of the clues matching up there, other than, he sings country and the cowboy boot and everything. And I assume he probably has had a best-selling book. And then Nicole and Jenny just named a total of like 9 or 10 different country singers. I didn't write them down, but they named a ton, and one that was on my mind that they didn't name, and then one that they did name that I think is the one I'm going to go with. I was thinking maybe Chris Stapleton, who is, kind of a current rock country guy. Sometimes his songs go on the rock charts, and sometimes they go on the country radio charts. But he does have a long beard, so that could explain the face. And he does have a connection with Chris Pratt. But, I usually only research maybe 1 or 2 things before I make my decision, because I don't want to sit here all night, looking up clues. But I just looked up if he ever wrote a book, and it doesn't seem like that he has. So I think I'm going to leave him, and I'm going to go to just a random person. And it was, I think, one of the ones that Jenny and Nicole named. I don't know what the red rotary phone has to do with anything. But this guy did write a best-selling book. He's definitely got a platinum album. I don't know if he's got a connection to Chris Pratt, but he shows up all the time on TV and can certainly kind of take a joke and make a joke. He shows up in those Nationwide commercials with Peyton Manning. I think this could be Brad Paisley. I don't know why. It might be a horrible guess. I'm not super up on the country. I think Garth Brooks is probably too big for this show. I don't know anymore. Now that we're in season 6, the show is very, very popular. So it could be Garth Brooks too, but I just see him being a little too big for this. And I don't think the clues quite match up enough with Billy Ray. So I don't know. My guess is Brad Paisley. All right, Cupcake was next. And from the clue package, we were thinking female for sure. But then the vocal came out, and it was a very, very deep vocal. So it could be either someone in the trans community or somebody with a female with a very, very low voice. And the guesses will reflect, I think, some of those things. So the early clue it was a compass pointing due north. And in the clue package, she said she's used to sharing the spotlight and not usually solo. But her close friend got bad news. So she wanted to kind of do this singing, and do this character in their honor. It was like in a kitchen, and the Secret Service agent was hitting buttons on the microwave. I had to rewind this 3 times to see what the buttons were. 1, 9, and 8 were the buttons on the microwave. So I'm thinking somebody with some sort of significance, maybe to January of 1998. I don't know if that's maybe when they had a hit song, or I'm not sure, but could be something with that. We saw a whiskey bottle, which Jenny thought maybe meant they played at the Whiskey A Go-Go at some point. There was a wet floor sign, but the bottom part said Cuidado, so maybe somebody with some sort of Latin heritage. We saw heart pancakes, a bill, like a slip, that said, "Go get 'em, girl, XOXO," like at a diner. I guess maybe it was like more of a diner theme than a kitchen theme, because they did have like tables and stuff. But anyway, they sang Heat Wave, great classic song from, I guess, the early 60s probably. But these guesses really ranged all over the place. Now, Nick asked how they were feeling, and they said again about supposed to be here with another sweet thing, but I'm all alone. And I'm not sure if any of these guesses really lend themselves to somebody in a duo. Tracy Chapman was talked about by Jenny, and then she ended up on RuPaul, which I think actually is a really good guess, but Robin thought maybe RuPaul as well. And then Nicole went from Roberta Flack to Leslie Jones. She couldn't decide between the two. I think those are very, very different choices. Nick kind of poked fun at her for that. And then Ken guessed Tina Turner. I want to say something about Tina Turner, because a few guesses coming on my comments have been for Tina Turner. I just want to go on the record now, and maybe I will be proven wrong one of these seasons, but Tina Turner has not performed in concert in over 10 years. And I love Tina Turner. I saw her in like 2006 or 7. Maybe it was one of her last concert tours. Maybe it was the last concert tour. I don't know. But she hasn't performed in a long, long time. She is, for all intents and purposes, retired from singing. She's in her 80s now. I don't think she's going to do this show. I really don't. So I just want to throw that out there. But in terms of other people, I thought maybe Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black. But the thing that was getting me was I was supposed to be here with somebody doing this. And, now I'm solo. And I'm used to not being solo. And that to me doesn't scream RuPaul either. Like, I liked that guess, but RuPaul has always kind of flown solo, unless maybe she was supposed to do it with somebody from Drag Race, one of the judges or something. Maybe Michelle Visage was supposed to come up, and I don't know. But so I don't love that guess either. I'm a little torn on all of it, to be completely honest. And I'm not sure I have anything better than RuPaul. But, the 198 on the microwave, January of 98, has to have some sort of significance, I feel like. And the whole thing, used to sharing the spotlight, not usually flying solo. This might be a horrible guess, but it is somebody that's used to being in a group. I think maybe this could be Mel B. I don't think her singing voice is necessarily that low, but we haven't really heard the Spice Girls sing for a good decade. So who knows? So it's probably one of my worst guesses yet, but I'm going to say Mel B, Scary Spice. They hit it big in 97. Maybe January of 98 was when they went platinum, or who knows? But it would be in that wheelhouse. All right, so up next is the Dalmatian. The early clue for there was 5 bald eagles. A lot of sports references in the clue package. He said he visualized success early. We had a whistle and a jersey there. We saw him weightlifting. We saw the painting The Scream, which is like that guy on the bridge with the, sort of distorted face. He said at 12 he bought his own gear, practiced every day, wanted to play in the big leagues, met one of the biggest players. And then as he said that, we saw him sort of boxing with the heavy bag, not a person, but a heavy bag. And then we saw him doing chin-ups. We saw him throwing the Frisbee. And the song was Beautiful by Snoop and Pharrell. Nick knew this person immediately. He said, without a doubt, I know who this is. Guesses from the panel included Nelly from Robin. And then 3 very different sort of personas. Nelly, of course, is a rapper. But then Jenny thought it might be Cat Williams because the Scream, and he did the Scary Movie movies with her. Not a bad guess. And it's a short dude, and Cat Williams is short. And then Reggie Bush was talked about as well from Ken, who is a sports person. I don't really know much about him, but Ken does know his sports. So we're going to go pretty much right to the tape here, because we've talked long enough so far, and there's still one more act to go. But Dalmatian is the one that got booted off, so pretty soon we'll find out who it is, or I will. You probably already know. But Robin, his first impression guess was Nelly. He's sticking with that. Nicole just said she thought it might be a Lil. So Lil Yachty, or I think she said Lil Uzi Vert, and I think he's dead. But in any case, she ended up switching to Nelly. Jenny's first impression guess was Steve Harvey. Horrible guess. And then she went with Kevin Hart after that. Ken said Reggie Bush initially, and then doubled down on that for the final guess. I'm a little torn on this because I do think it could be a rapper. Because he certainly had, the rhythm and the cadence of somebody who professionally raps. But I didn't go with Ken's athletic guess last week. Now, the clue package is so heavy with the sports theme that easily they could be just throwing us off. It could legitimately be a rapper. But, I didn't go with Ken last week, so I'm going to go with Reggie Bush. I don't really know much about him, but Ken does know his sports, so if it's a sports star, I bet it's him. Let's see, is this Reggie Bush under the Dalmatian costume? Let's see. I hope, if it's Nelly, I'm going to be mad, actually. Nick would know if it was Nelly, too. All right, come on, take it off already. Who is it? Oh, it's a rapper. Oh, it's Tyga. All right, well, you know what? I feel better that at least it wasn't Nelly. Okay. Tyga is pretty big in the rap world. Hold on. All right, before we get to the interview questions here. Tyga is pretty big in the rap world, but I have to say, I definitely wouldn't have known it was him. I don't know enough of his music to pick up on any of clues, referencing him. The 5 bald eagles, I wonder if they're going to talk about that at all. All right, I'm just glad it wasn't Nelly, because if I went with Reggie Bush instead of Robin's Nelly guess, I would be very, very angry. So, all right, I'm okay with that. That it's Tyga and not Nelly, but not Reggie Bush either. So he said once he saw Lil Wayne do it, he figured anybody could do it, and that is true. Lil Wayne did very successful. The gym rack in Dalmatian's package is included Tyga's hit song "Rack City." Oh, that is probably the song I know the best by him. I can't sing it right now for you because it's vulgar, and I try not to curse on this channel. But all right, are they going to give us any more clues? Rack City, that was a good song. All right, give us the 5 bald eagles. I'm real confused about that. He said it makes them look cooler when they come on a show like this, when rappers come on. All right, I don't deny that. All right, give us another clue, though. Usually they throw up a few clues to tell us a little more about them. All right, Rack City, yeah, that's good. Okay. The cat in Dalmatian's packages included Tyga's name. Oh, because he's a tiger. I didn't even write down that there was a cat. But I think Jenny pointed that out. That's why she said Cat Williams. The screen painting is a clue to Tyga's role in the TV series Scream. Okay, that's it. I never watched that show. I knew it existed, but okay. So that makes sense. I'm just glad it wasn't Nelly. If I had went with Ken's Reggie Bush and it was Nelly, I would have been kicking myself. But all right, nobody guessed Tyga on the panel, so all right, clean slate there. But I'm 1 for 4 now so far. This is rough. All right, and finally, banana split. We'll go over this pretty quickly because we're already eating up a lot of time here, but I think I know who this is. So the early clue was 3 dice, each with the number 2 on it. And then this is a male-female duo. And the female said, Hollywood can make you feel small. And we saw a bejeweled glove kind of cleaning up a table. Or like dusting. She said she moved to Hollywood and got a day job. And we see her getting a silver medal. And she quit that job, but begged for it back when her big break fell through. And she said that her and this other man stick together through sweet and sour. And they were playing like one of those strength games, you know, where you hit the mallet and the ball goes up. Or the bell goes up, I should say. Big Man was at the top of it, and then Give Up was around the 700 or 800 mark on that. Those are the only 2 things I wrote down. I'm sure there were more things on there that I missed. The song they did was A Million Dreams by Pink, the Pink version from Greatest Showman. But the man played the piano and the woman sang. So they are not a singing duo necessarily. They could be throwing us off. We don't know. But some of the guesses included Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling from Nicole, Faith and Tim McGraw from good old Robin. And also Nick asked them about, being together. Have they, do they work together all the time? And she said they don't work together all the time, but they have sometimes. And the man mentioned that she is just great on her own. So I think this is a guess that I believe Nyan in my comments was the first one to say this, but there may have been a few other people saying it too in my comments. I'm blessed to have so many commenters. Sometimes I get lost in the sauce, so I apologize if you said this as well. But Jenny said that this might be Catherine McPhee and David Foster. They are a married couple, and he is not known to be a singer, but he's certainly a musician, and she, of course, is a great singer. And the person singing Million Dreams Tonight by Pink was a great singer. I don't quite know what the dice mean, but, of course, she went to Hollywood to be on American Idol. I don't know if she moved there pre-Idol or post-Idol, but obviously that, their big thing is you want a ticket to Hollywood, so could be a reference to that. And then I thought the silver medal as well, when they put that over her neck, well, she got second place on Idol behind good old Taylor Hicks. So, I don't know, Big Man, Give Up, they may be some sort of song titles or something, but I'm definitely going with that guess. I think Catherine McPhee and David Foster, I think that's a great guess, so my kudos to Nyan and whoever else said it in my comments. And I think Jenny's on the money with this one. This is one of these instances, though, where I don't love that they have this golden buzzer that they can use, because then the person, or in this case, duo, might not get to go to the finals. If they had that same buzzer last season, Nick Lachey never would have won. So I have mixed feelings about that, because I think Jenny knows it very clearly, if that's who it is. And she could hit that buzzer, next week or something and pick up, the points for that. And then we wouldn't see, the banana split anymore. So I think that would be a bummer. But anyway, so that is the episode. Next week, I didn't know if they were going to get 1 off or 2 off, because last week with Group A, they did 2 in that first week. But I guess we're going to meet some of the wild cards, and I believe if I counted correctly, I was correct that they're going to have 3 wild cards per group. So Group A, I think there's still somebody we haven't met yet. And then Group B, we're going to meet 3 wild cards along the way. And that makes sense, because that would mean that there's going to be 16 characters total. And there usually is between 14 and 16. So that totally makes sense. So, all right. Thank you for watching. Please comment below and subscribe and do all the things. And we'll see you back here next week for another Masked Singer wrap-up. Bye.